Yo, Nakama around the world. Welcome back to Conqueror's Haki Corner. Your boy Serge,
Yo,
your boy Vim,
Yo,
and myself, Rock, and we're here once again to bring you another chapter review / discussion of One Piece chapter 997 Flames. But before we get into that, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like, and don't forget to share the video. And we'd like to give a massive shout out and thank you to those that have been supporting us so far. Always appreciated.
Jack.
Always shout out Jax. But let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. We've been waiting.
All right, man. Front cover, we got Sanji now taking another hiding because he's looking at Nami instead of meditating. So we got this raccoon dog priest smacking Sanji's shoulders because he's too distracted for Zen meditation, man. So we're still in the comedy zone, and it's well deserved. He deserved the smack. And funnily enough, as we get into the chapter, it's like foreshadowing, man. It's always the girl them getting him in trouble.
last week we had a few predictions. I threw in for good measure. It's over a female. But we weren't going that direction, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But I did throw it in for good measure.
That's right.
Initially, from the shadows, I was thinking it might have been what's his name, Orochi, but it's just like, nah, maybe not.
Sanji's obviously been caught in a trap. He thought that there was someone in danger. Clearly, there wasn't. It's just Kaido's little minions. And he gets stung. And whatever he's been tied up with, he can't get out of.
Spider's web.
Spider's web.
So he got done by a spider smart fruit user, I believe. And they obviously lulled him in. And then Black Maria's there, man. And what's really funny, I love the spoof at the end of it. Yeah, so you got Sanji basically saying, you know what, yeah, I will allow you if you let me go because I ain't got time to waste with you guys. And then the two headliners or whatever they are, they look and they say, oh, a bounty of 330 million berries, you're big time. So they obviously know who he is, he's famous. And then Black Maria's just there like, what a boy. You want to turn our banquet hall into a battlefield? Well, I happen to have a soft spot for boys with rough edges. What do you say? Do you like me too? Boy, don't insult me. Untie me. You want the truth? The truth is, I love you. So we got a problem. We know historically Sanji does not like to fight girls. He can't fight girls. So what I see happening here is, as to what happened in the chapter, I think a lot of people are going to start moving away from the banquet hall, at least all the names of people that need to match up. And I'm going to say it now. I think the person that's going to rescue Sanji and fight Black Maria is Robin. It's going to have to be a girl to fight her. I think Robin's techniques match up well with her, like the size-wise, you know, like she can make really, you know, like and all those big hands and stuff. So it'll be a really, really cool matchup, which will free up Sanji to go and tackle Queen or someone else, whoever his fight is, hopefully Queen. But I think this is more just, it kind of gives me the feeling of when we were in Ennis Lobby when Sanji was getting his butt kicked by one of CP9, I believe it was. What was her name?
I don't remember her name, but she had a soap fruit.
Yeah. And then obviously Nami had to get involved and, you know, kind of back him and take on that battle. So I think a similar thing's going to happen here. We're going to get Sanji. I hope he at least gets like a little rub or a hug from Black Maria before he gets going. But, you know, like that's about it, man. And it's funny because then we jump onto Luffy and Jinbei and they're like, where did Sanji go? It's like, I don't know. He rushed off with a ferocious look in his eyes. You know, anytime it comes to do with the girls, Sanji's involved. Now, important to notice here, they are now on the 3rd floor. Last week, they were on the 2nd floor. If we pay attention. Last week, Kid was on the 3rd floor. Mm-hmm. And then we see the two headliners that are there that are waiting for, you know, Straw Hat Luffy and Jinbei. And they say, well, we already let Kid past. And then they see Luffy's bounty. They come in, there's 1.5 billion. And they believe that they can redeem themselves by stopping Luffy. So that means that Kid is at least on floor 4. So he's almost at the roof. So in terms of the competition, I think this is just going to be another, you know, quick little Luffy gets through them. And I think he catches up to Kid in time to both set it off to probably combat Kaido at the same time, I believe, at this point. Like, you know, far too soon for one-on-ones. I don't think there'll be many one-on-ones in that regard. But yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Maybe not too important, but it's been shown. Well, we can see that Luffy's bounty completely just overdoes kids. Have we been shown kids bounty at all?
We
That
haven't
you
been
can
shown
remember.
his bounty since it went up in the new world. I mean, when he got to the new world, his bounty was over 300 million. This is pre-time skip, so you can assume that it's gone up for sure. He hasn't had the luxury of, Big News Morgan. So first of all, he didn't participate in Marineford. That gave Luffy a boost to 500 million, I think it was, or 400 million, one or the other. And then obviously taking on Big Mom on Whole Cake Island, and what happened in Dressrosa. No, wait a minute. Let me correct myself. It was after Dressrosa he got put up to 1.5 billion, or was it after Big Mom?
It was after
Big Mom.
It was after Big Mom. So he did what he did in Dressrosa. Then he went to Big Mom's, and obviously Big News Morgan, who clearly has a big hand in the media, really kind of uplifted him. So I wouldn't look too much into the bounty, but it's a good little kind of way to stir the pot between them two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with them reaching now Kaido at the same time. I think that ladder that Luffy's going to climb, he'll bump into Kid sort of simultaneously, and they'll sort of just rush towards Kaido on the same playing field. So just be like a standoff with Kid and Luffy standing next to each other, and obviously whoever else they're with, Kaido in front of them. And again, Big Mom's going to be there.
What I will add, I mean, I'm gonna come back to that point. So on Luffy and Kid, I'm gonna move on because this is gonna relate to it. The big part of this chapter that really got me excited, man, was we got back inside the dome, so we can see where Big Mom went. We can see Zoro looks concerned, and we find out later in the chapter it's because he noticed Okiku's arm fall to the floor.
Yeah.
And Robin clarifies that to us. We have the whole everyone chasing Apu. Chopper's still okay. He knows what he's doing. And then Zoro gets serious, which is what I've been waiting for him to do for a long time. I've moaned about this the last few weeks of Zoro kind of playing around with people like Apu. And you see Apu and Drake are going at it. First, Zoro cuts I believe it's the Oni Demon, one of the bad guys, Boss Omasa or something. You see Zoro cuts him, then he braces himself. And before Drake can even reach Apu, you see that nice little shadow of Zoro. And I believe it's gonna be Shish Song Song. That's what it looks like to me. Just one hit him, took him out, and caught the ant. He didn't just take out Apu. He caught the antidote like a bad man and gave it to Chopper. And Chopper says he's figured out the virus and he will, heal anyone, enemy alike, because he's a doctor as part of his morals. And Zoro gives him the "I knew you would." So first of all, before we move on, I want to talk about this feat of Zoro's. We're still so unclear. Sometimes he's held back to where he's like dancing around a long time with regular people. And then again, this is the second supernova he's practically one-shotted. Remember, he beat Killer when he was Kamazo the Killer. Like when he got serious, he cut him up even though he took damage. And then now Apu one shot, bam, like took him out. I mean, obviously we can rein it in a little bit. Apu was distracted. He wasn't fighting one-on-one. He was running away from Drake. But it just shows that Zoro is really just kind of going to be elevated in Wano. And what I'm going to add on further here, and this is what I really like to see as well, you see Queen was getting really agitated and was getting ready to fire more Oni bullets, and Zoro must have sent up a slash, destroyed the gun, and you see Queen just be like, ah! And Zoro just gets real with him. It's like, what is this stupid game about? I didn't come all this way to this island to waste time on a bunch of nonsense. They say Kaido's the toughest guy in the world, so I'm here to slice him into pieces. Now, this is what we talk about, man. So what I say with that is this is clarified to me that Zoro will be involved in the fight, if not already. And I think it's foreshadowing that he will land a cut on Kaido, or maybe he'll open up the cut that Odin had. Let me just clarify. I'm not saying that Zoro is going to be the one to beat Kaido. Of course not. But he will have his time fighting Kaido, and he will do damage, which is all we can ask for.
It's fitting for Enma to cut Kaido. So yeah, that has to come about. And I think the demonstration of power scaling was necessary because Would you say it pushes him levels beyond Drake as well because of Drake's reaction?
I think Oda's carefully kind of letting us know that Zoro is levels. Like,
Okay.
he's always been projected as a character who would be a captain if he wasn't with Luffy. Like, that's what we got to remember. So, me being a Zoro fanboy, I would say yes, but I wouldn't say I would go by that. It's like, in terms of Zoro's character as a whole, I think Zoro would never submit to follow Kaido. Do you understand? He's in the same breath for me as Kid, Luffy, even Law. These guys do not even Law kind of became, what's it called, Shishibukai.
For purpose, though.
For purpose. So I'm not going to write him off, but I'm saying Luffy, Zoro, and Law are all a bit more volatile.
In that case, then I think he'll deal with King and shot on Kaido. That's what I think.
I think the King fight will be interesting because of the style of the fight. You're facing someone that's can basically be aerial comparative to you when you're on the ground. You can throw your slices in the air, and you don't know what King's devil fruit can really do in the whole sense. In terms of Kaido's slice, I think it's going to be the cross slice, but one more. We're dealing with the free swords, and he needs to add his own mark to him. So that would be the nice part to it.
I mean, going on in what happens in the next sequence, and if I would like to direct everyone to pay attention to the panels, because I think a lot of these panels are specific foreshadowing. So we all know by the end of the chapter what the earthquake that was being caused, but everyone's obviously kind of, because Zoro has always been like propelled as this intimidating character. People are assuming it's his conqueror's Haki, which I've been talking about for a while. So everyone there, including Brook, like, is it Haki, the color of the Supreme King? What have you done, you beastly man? And Zoro obviously makes a joke of it. He's like, I didn't do this. Before he starts talking to Robin. Now, the last thing that Zoro says, we got a late start. I wish I could just fly right up there. And then we got a panel of King and Queen. But neither route will be that simple. So that's a key there. It's like the route that Zoro is going to have to take to get to the roof is through one of these guys. And I think it's going to be part and parcel that's going to be for Sanji. The next person that comes into the panel, we see Marco the Phoenix. You guys are the real muscle. What are you doing stuck on this floor? Need my help with anything? So obviously he's going to serve as someone to perhaps take Zoro to that next level, like fly him up directly. However, that's where I think King, who hasn't been in the last few chapters, is going to get involved. So at this point, I think King comes, tackles Zoro and Marco. And I think, the way Marco is being used so far, because now he's not even going to do the medicine stuff, yeah? Marco's kind of being used similarly to the way Sabo was used in Dressrosa. Like, he's an OP character, but we're not going to let him fight none of the OP characters, if you know what I mean. I think he'll have these little skirmishes as distractions, much like Sabo had with Fujitora. So I expect Marco to have a little thing with King. But ultimately, that fight will then change into Zoro versus King as a one-on-one.
Marco, if Zoro's hurt or in any shape or form, Marco can heal Zoro and replenish him while he's taking him up. So there is that possibility of making him that 100% health. And then once they get to King, then that's his 100% while he's fighting King instead of having that fatigue. So, but it's perfect, to be honest. And Oda's quite specific with neither route. So the flight is King route. The stage going up the different levels is the Queen route.
Yeah, neither route's going to be easy, but I think now we're starting to line up the fights. Like I said, I'm going to say Black Maria versus Robin, Frankie versus Sasaki. We've got OT and Page 1 versus Nami and Usopp. And obviously the other Toby Roppo, I think one of the Toby Roppo will fight X Drake. And I think the other one will, there'll be other people to fight. And moving on, so we then see what the island shaking is going to be a tribute to. We go through a lot of people. So you got Law's crew cannot join the fight. They're like, that's not good. Now we can't join because they're finding it hard. You've got Black Maria saying so impatient. Questions from Hyogoro. You got Kid looking on. So then we pick up with Yamato and Momonosuke. And then we get a lot of revelations here that just opens up a whole Pandora's box worth of theories to discuss, man. So she realizes that they can't get onto the boat to save Momonosuke, and the reason why is because the island is floating in the air. Momonosuke asks, what is happening, Yamato? Now, I want us to pay attention to keywords. Dragons fly through the air by creating something called flame clouds, meaning Kaido sent Onigashima itself aloft. He's going to move the entire island to the flower capital. What? And then obviously he finishes off is like, are you satisfied yet? Kazuki is finished. Wano, or more accurately, New Onigashima, will become a pirate stronghold. Let us begin the world of islands. Now, questions. Is Kaido a person that had a dragon fruit, or is he a dragon?
That's a good question. A
Because
dragon,
the reason
and
why I
then
say that is I don't remember them ever. You know, when we get introduced to a character, even when we had Big Mom in Whole Cake Island and stuff, like they spell out, you know, her fruit type and what she used. Like Big Mom, Yonko, this so fruit user. Yeah, I don't recall ever having that with Kaido. It's always been this thing in the air that kind of doesn't really have a lot of clarity. So there's a bit of ambiguity with Yamato's words. Is her father actually as a being, is he a part of a dragon? Because we know he's not a man, he's a thing, as they've always exclaimed. So that's very, very interesting. Secondly, his power level to be able to lift Onigashima and take it to Wano is crazy. Now, the last question I want to put forth to you guys is this, yeah? Was Onigashima definitely always a part of Wano? Because if Kaido has the ability to move like landmass, he could have easily moved on like his kind of island that he's attached to, his home or whatever it is to him, and put it there. Because now he's removing it again as he takes over Wano. So when he first came into Wano, is that how he came in? And also, do you think that Onigashima is another name for maybe God's Valley? Because we know Kaido was a part of the Rocks crew. And I definitely think we're going to see something about Rocks in the Kaido's flashback, which is definitely incoming soon. I mean, all these questions I'm asking, I really think will be answered in the near future over the next couple of months. But I'm just asking you guys, man, because right now things are getting real crazy.
I personally think it is a devil fruit. Personally, I think he is a creature in and of himself as a species, same as his daughter is a part of that same species, but he's eating a mythical zone fruit of that dragon kind of style. Now, with the clouds forming, we're yet to see what his devil fruit is actually capable of doing. We got a glimpse of clouds being formed by Momonosuke when we were on Punk Hazard, and Momonosuke floated Luffy to the top with his clouds, and they started rising. So that was a small scale lifting one person. Kaido's incredibly strong by creating that kind of level of clouds and moving the whole island. I think you're right, Serge. He actually moved his island. I think that's his.
That's what I think.
I think it's his. I don't think you're wrong about that. I think he's relocated himself there 20 odd years ago. And he plotted it just near Wano. And now his whole perception of Wano is going to be like, well, I'm going to put my island on top of Wano, and it's my country now.
I think I read up that Onigashima was about, but it wasn't considered to be. It wasn't called Onigashima.
I've just done a translation on search.
Demon.
Den of Demons. So that's what it's called. Onigashima translates to Den of Demons.
Well, like I said, that would be very, very interesting, man. And yeah, so I mean, it takes the story. You know, we're gonna go onto the mainland for the fight, which makes it interesting as to who else can come in. You know, if because all the forces are on the island anyway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take everyone that was there, and then now there's room for more people from the outside to come.
The Big Mom Pirates.
Yep.
Anyone else that's on their way there, potentially Marines.
Yep.
Whoever else is trying to access Wano from that main front part. So yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna say it like now. I still think Garp comes.
Okay.
I think Garp is someone that's combated the Rocks Pirates before, and the fact that Big Mom and Kaido are together, I think him instinctively he will want to personally go and scuff some Yonko for old time's sake. And I can see a scenario where he rescues Luffy for a brief moment to buy him a breather. but that's a reach. I definitely think we're gonna get an admiral or two. Actually, two. I don't think the Navy's crazy enough to send one admiral to confront two Yonko, who are clearly stronger than the admirals at this point.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we're gonna get a couple of admirals.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see Green Bull and potentially Kizaru, because I know Fujitora is injured.
Do you still reckon Blackbeard pirates are going to pop up?
Right at the end, man. His timing's always perfect. He's gonna let everyone do what they need to do to each other before he comes in. You're like, he's not playing, man. I would go as far as saying that I think Blackbeard, the level of knowledge that this guy seems to have, I think he's one of the few pirates in the world, maybe Shanks as well, but I'm not sure, that potentially is aware of Emu Summer. I will go that far. Because I think he's a student of history, man. He will know so much about the Void Century and Devil Fruits. And the fact that he's obsessed with Devil Fruits. We know that the tree of Devil Fruits is in Marijoy, and Blackbeard being someone that's obsessed with Devil Fruits, I think he will know a bag about all of that stuff. So I definitely think he's incoming. If not, then he's done his bit. Probably overtaken Whole Cake Island to get one of the glyphs. That's the only other alternative. And a person that I could also see incoming here, just because now work with me here. Yeah, we know that Marco the Phoenix is there, so there's a good chance that Marco may have called for reinforcements. But whether he has or hasn't, someone who's hunting for him is who?
Weevil.
We ain't seen Weevil in a minute.
You're right.
So and he'd be like a perfect distraction for Marco as well. So I could definitely see Weevil coming in.
Well, he'd be a perfect distraction for everyone. He's just a militant, just destroys.
And he's strong.
No, that's what I mean. So there's no real thought process, but just destroys whatever he wants.
Yeah. So I think we've got a lot of potential of different people to come in. But the main thing from this chapter we got is, I think, foreshadowing on Zoro to reveal Conqueror's Haki, at least in Wano. He will get involved with Kaido. I think he will fight King more than likely very, very soon. And I think the matchups are going to slowly start to line up. By the time we arrive in main country Wano, fighting will start.
Yeah.
Proper fighting.
But guys, let us know what you thought of that chapter. A lot to talk about. Let us know down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like. And don't forget to share the video. The more you share, the more we grow. But from Conqueror's Haki Corner, it is a peace out.